be back in the morning when the sun starts to rise. So mama, don't stress your mind. So mama, don't stress your mind.
Hi everyone, this is me again, Bianca Magdaong. So for today's video, I'm going to tackle with you the summary of Chapter 6, which is entitled The Network Layer. So the network layer, the network layer or OSI layer 3 is provides service to allow end devices to exchange data across the network. To accomplish this end-to-end transport, the network layer uses four basic processes. So the four basic processes are addressing end devices, encapsulation, routing, and de-encapsulating. So network layer protocols. Common network layer protocols include IP version 4, IP version 6. Then legacy network layer protocols include novel inter-work packets exchange or IPX, then Apple Talk, and connectionist network servers or CNN or DECnet. So so IP components, it's have a three: connectionless, then best effort, and the media independent. So connectionless, no connection is established before sending data packets. Then best efforts, no overhead is used to guarantee packets delivery, and the media independent, it operates independently of the medium carrying the data. So the encapsulating IP rather. So the network layer adds a header so packets can be routed through complex networks and reach their destination. In TCP or IP based networks, the networks layer PDU is the IP packet. So IP is connectionless and therefore requires no initial exchange of control information to establish an end-to-end connection before packets are forwarded. IP also does not require additional fields into protocol data unit or PDU header to maintain established connections. So it's in reliable simply means that IP does not have the capability to manage and recover from undelivered or corrupt packets. These packets, while IP packets are sent with information about the location of delivery, it also contains no information that can be processed to inform the sender whether delivery was successful. There is no synchronization data included in the packet header. So one major characteristics of media that the network layer considers the maximum size of the PDU that each medium can transport. This characteristic is referred to as the maximum transmissions unit or MTU. So part of the control communication between the data link layer and the network layer, and the network layer is the establishment of a maximum size of the packet. So the data link layer passes the MTU value up to the network layer. The network layer then determines how large packet should be. Then, generating IP packets, the network layer adds a header so packets can be routed through complex network and reach their destination in TCP or IP-based network. The network layer PDU is the IP packets. So So, for the IP version 4 packet header, so version, it contains a 4-bit binary value identifying the IP packet version. For the IP version 4 packets, this field is always set to 0100. Then, differentiated service DS field is an 8-bit field used to determine the priority of each packet. And next is time to live, or what we call TTL. So it contains an 8-bit binary value that is used to limit the lifetime of a packet. Then protocol. The protocol is a 8-bit binary value indicates the data payload type that packet is carrying, and the source IP address, which contains a 32-bit binary value that represents the source IP address of the packet, and the destination IP address contains a 32-bit binary value that represents the destination of ID address of the packet. Then the limitations of IP version 4, so the IP address depletions, Ethernet routing table expansions, and lack of end-to-end connectivity. So for the introducing of IP version 6, it is increased address space, improved packet handling, then eliminates the need for NAT, integrated security, 4 billion IP version 4 addresses, or 4 billion rather. Then so for the default gateway, so hosts must maintain their own local routing table to ensure that network layer packets are directed to the correct destination network. So the local table of the host typically contains the reconnection, local network route, and the local default route. So for the router memory, so for the RAM memory, it's a volatile and it stores on running iOS, running configuration file, IP routing, and ARP tables, and the packet buffer. Then for the memory of ROM, it is non-volatile. Then it's backup it stores on the backup instructions, then basic diagnostic software, and limited iOS. So for the NVRAM memory, it's a non-volatile. Then it stores on startup configuration, and the flash memory, it is a non-volatile. Then it stores on the iOS and other system files. So inside the router, it has a power supply, shield for WIC, fan, SD-RAM, and VRAM, CPU, and advanced integration module, or AIM. So for the Cisco IOS, operational details vary on a different internetworking devices depending on the device purpose and feature set. However, Cisco IOS for routers provides the following: the addressing, interfaces, security, QoS, and the resource management. So all in the chapter 6, you learned that the network layer, or OSI layer 3, provides services to allow end devices to exchange data across the network. Then the network layer uses 4 basic processes: IP addressing for end devices, then encapsulations, routing, and the de-encapsulations. Then the internet largely based on IP version 4, which is still the most widely used network layer protocol. Then an IP version 4 packet contains the IP header on the payload. Then the IP version 6 simplified header offers several advantages over IP version 4, including better routing efficiency, simplified extension, headers and capability for per flow processing. Then, in addition to hierarchical addressing, the network layer is also responsible for routing. It also hosts require a local routing table to ensure the packets are directed to the correct destination's network. Then the local default route is the route to the default gateway. Then the default gateway is the IP address of a router interface connected to the local network. Then, when a router, such as a default gateway, receives packet, it examines the destinations of IP address to determine the destination networks. So, guys, that's all for today's video. It's all about the Chapter 6 summary. Thank you for watching.